It's a good idea. Translation: this confidential knowledge may never be explained to those who are not austere or devoted or engaged in devotional service, not to one who is envious of me. Purport: persons who have not undergone the austerities of the religious process, who have never attempted devotional service in Krishna consciousness, who have not tended a pure devotee, and especially those who are conscious of Krishna only as a historical personality or who are envious of the greatness of Krishna, should not be told this most confidential part of knowledge. It is, however, sometimes found that even demoniac persons who are envious of Krishna, worshipping Krishna in a different way, take to the profession of explaining Bhagavad Gita in a different way to make business. But anyone who desires actually to understand Krishna must avoid such commentaries on Bhagavad Gita. Actually, the purpose of Bhagavad Gita is not understandable to those who are sensuous. Even if one is not sensuous but is strictly following the disciplines enjoined in the Vedic scripture, if he is not a devotee, he also cannot understand Krishna. And even one poses himself as a devotee of Krishna but is not engaged in Krishna conscious activities, he also cannot understand Krishna. There are many persons who envy Krishna because he has explained in Bhagavad Gita that he is the supreme and that nothing is above him or equal to him. There are many persons who are envious of Krishna. Such persons should not be told of Bhagavad Gita, for they cannot understand. There is no possibility of faithless persons understanding Bhagavad Gita and Krishna. Without understanding Krishna from the authority of a pure devotee, one should not try to comment upon Bhagavad Gita. Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guruho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tang Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sagitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Welcome to everybody on this Sunday evening program. We are seated at the lotus feet of Jagannath, Baladev and Subhadra Devi and Sri La Prabhupada. This is a verse that often people wonder why Krishna has said this. Don't speak about this to anybody who is envious. Don't speak who is not austere. Don't speak to anybody who is not a devotee about this. Naturally people ask, then how will people come to know about it? Obviously Prabhupada carried this, published it in 87 languages, distributed it all over the world, mainly to people who don't know anything about anything, who are not austere, who are complete sense gratifiers. You know, everything that is mentioned here, Prabhupada disobeyed it, that means. Isn't it? It looks like that. He went and preached to people who are real drunken, drugged persons, who are not the least having any bit of tapasya, nothing. So, why is Krishna saying this? And why Prabhupada and such great personalities have gone and spoken about this? The next shloka will reveal that. In the next shloka, Ya idam paramam guhyam madbhakteshu abhidhasyati bhaktim mayi param kritva mame vaishyasi asamshayah. For one who explains the supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end he'll come back to me. Krishna is also saying, don't speak about this to people who are envious. You know why? If somebody is envious of somebody, and you go to that person and praise that other person, you become more angry. Right? Kevala Vishavardhanam. If you feed poison, if you give milk to a snake, it will simply become more poisonous. So it is mentioned that if you speak good about somebody to some person who is envious of another person whom you are speaking about, it only creates more anger in him. Generally, people in this world actually don't like God very much. If they get the smallest chance to blame God, they will normally blame. Why there is no rain? What is the use of God? Why nobody is there to look after? Why I am suffering? All because of. I'll go and do some archana, nothing happens to me. Google is better. It gives immediately answer. God, so many prayers I'm sending up, nothing, no result. This is the meaning of no faith, no tapasya, no austerity. When you don't have any punya, any devotional service, credit, then it's very difficult to develop faith. Faith will be very low. So for people, faith is very low. That's why Prabhupada, when he went to America, he did not ask them to follow Bhagavad Gita, chant Hare Krishna. He said, come, eat prasadam. He cooked and gave prasadam. Very nice, Swamiji calling and giving prasadam. They ate all the prasadam. Then he said, sit and sing with me. Oh, very good. I'll sit and sing. So they sang Kirtan, Hare Krishna Kirtan. In this way, he only gave them prasadam and Kirtan. Little philosophy he spoke. This Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Krishna is Supreme Lord, and Hare means his energies, and Rama means he's very pleasurable, and like this. Oh, very nice. More prasadam. And then they ate prasadam, they sing, and slowly they started asking questions. They became purified. Then they read Bhagavad Gita, and they become very interested in the philosophy. Then their mind changes, their heart changes, and they become a different person. They become devotee. Became a devotee. And now Prabhupada was very deeply speaking Bhagavad Gita to them and making them follow, chastising them, scolding them if they don't do anything properly. And in this way, training them up. They were willing. So Prabhupada knows that this is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, but a devotee sometimes is more merciful than God also. You see, he takes the risk. Okay, I will take the risk because these people, otherwise who will speak to them? So he went all the way to America, went to the worst place in America, in the Bronx, in New York, somewhere. All drunken people, drugged people and hippies, everybody there. He went and gave them prasadam. He showed them kindness. He gave them some love and affection. And they felt nobody is looking after us, but this old man is very nice to us. So they felt he was very father-like, and they started going to him. So Prabhupada really cared for them. People are actually innocent, mostly. Nobody is guiding people properly in this world. Having got the human form of life, the person must have already qualified himself for so many janmas to get the human form of life. He is already a human being, means he is already qualified to take Bhagavad Gita instructions. But nobody is teaching people. No leadership is allowing any proper instruction to be given to people. All instruction is how to make money, how to economy and GDP should go up, and we are very progressive, and completely different instructions. But most people are suffering inside. Because of their suffering and because of their lack of knowledge, they will do a lot of wrong things. And they will do a lot of sinful activity and get implicated and suffer bad karma. It's mainly because of leadership. It's because of people not leading people properly. Those who are in leadership position. So Prabhupada went ahead and very affectionately taught people about God. He said, you will never be happy if you don't factor God inside your life. And he explained who God is. He explained who Krishna is. He explained the instructions of Krishna. He explains how Krishna loves you very much. He's your father. He wants you to be happy. And he gave a very personal idea about Krishna and relationship with him. Then everybody's heart changed. So, can you imagine how Krishna will be very happy with this person who going out of his way and taking risk. Although I told don't preach to non-devotees and this thing, my devotee has gone and preached to the worst people and is making them my devotees. How much more Krishna will be very happy with him. So devotees take a risk for the sake of Krishna. For the sake of Krishna. So in Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's life, you can see that he has lot of compassion for people. He wants to give something good to people. Give them good instruction. Give them Krishna. They will become all right. They are basically nice people. That firm faith Prabhupada had. So sometimes people ask why this shloka like this. This is general warning. But for special people, they can take the risk. For you and me, better we follow this. Better we follow this. Nice pious people with a nice going to temple, we can tell them take Bhagavad Gita, read, oh, I am coming and all that. It's easy to talk to them. But Prabhupada went and spoke to people who don't care about God or anything. Is not interested at all. Those type of people. He took a very big risk. So, you will see in the line of Prabhupada, many of them took risk. All these great acharyas, they take risk. That is why society changes. Some amount of risk is required. When you preach about God in this world, most people will get angry with you. Those days when, people were going out for Sankirtan and chanting on the streets, the people passing by used to tell, why don't you go get a job? Why don't you go get a job? Useless, simply doing Kirtan. If you worship God, you're a useless fellow. You don't have anything else to do. This is all Western thought. India is filled with people who worship God, are willing to worship whole day God. Willing to chant, do bhajan, kirtan, serve the Lord, read Bhagavad Gita, hear Bhagavatam, do some seva. Because we're basically very pious people. Bharata bhumi te hoila, manusha janma jar, janma shartaka kori kora, paro upakar. People who are born in India, it's mentioned in the Shastra, they are very, very advanced people spiritually. Very pious people. That's why you are born in India. Bharata bhumi te hoila, manusha janma jar. If you are born in Bharata Bhumi, you are already progressed to quite a bit. But in Bharata Bhumi, people are thinking, I wish I was born in America, yaar. I wish I was like a, so wonderful. Because you have lost value for these wonderful instructions. India is filled with people in every village, simple people. Because their life is not very complicated. They simply worship God. That's all. Temple around that community. Temple, community. Temple. Everywhere, small village, one temple. Around that everybody will do kirtan, bhajan, sit in the evening, hear Ramayana, Mahabharata, do some little vyavasayam, some agriculture, get little food, some roti, this thing, simple life. very comfortable. Lot of time for talking to your neighbor, talking to your family members, everybody together, solving problems and everything. Very wonderful, rich living. Life became very complicated after introduction of Western philosophy and Western ideals and Eurocentric ideals and colonization and showing you how to make money and how to do that, this. Everything got spoiled. All families split. Every house is filled with all sorts of problems. How to live a simple life and have high thinking in life. Simple living, high thinking. That is what is Vedic culture. For those type of people, it's very easy to understand. So those days, very less people were without, piety, very envious, very small section of people. But nowadays, almost everybody is like that. Then if you follow Bhagavad Gita, then you cannot preach to anybody, cannot talk to anybody. And what is the use of building big temple now? Ninga vandu payasa, vella ponga. We have to filter people. No, we allow everybody to come. All sorts of people come. And they become devotees. So, Krishna also wants that his instructions be heard by everybody. That's why he is telling in the next verse, Ya yadam paramam guhyam madbhakteshu vidasyati. This has been the meaning of Acharyas always. I don't mind taking a risk. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time was Vasudeva Datta. Vasudeva Datta could not tolerate how all the people are suffering in this world because they don't have God, they don't have Krishna Prema. They are so lost in material life and they are developing all bad habits, they are becoming envious, greedy, lusty, angry. Simply suffering because of not remembering Krishna, not able to be God conscious. So he went and told Lord Chaitanya, I can take the sinful reaction for all of these people on my head. I'll go to hell. Why don't you take them all back to Godhead? He went and told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I cannot bear the suffering of everybody. They're so foolish. They're so foolish. Why can't they chant Hare Krishna and be happy? It's so easy. And they don't know. So I will take all their karma on my head. Let me go to hell and suffer. One person alone suffer for everybody. Let them all go back to God and you take them back. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became very moved. He embraced Vasudeva Datta. And he said, if Krishna so desires, anything can take place. Your feeling like this is the true feeling of a Vaishnava, of a devotee. He is always thinking how to benefit everybody. I don't mind to suffer. Let them all benefit. Because you will see even Ramanujacharya, when he got the mantra finally after 19 visits to Trikoshtuyur Nambi, you can go to that temple. He made him come so many times. No, I am not ready to tell you. 18 times. Okay. 17, 18, 19, all people are saying. One of those numbers. It doesn't matter. So he went so many times and came. Then finally he revealed to him this mantra. And he said, don't tell anybody. Only for you. So because if you disobey me, it's consequences are very bad. Guru. So Ramanuja thought, by chanting this mantra, you go back to Godhead. Let everybody go back to Godhead. And maybe I will break the instruction and I will go to hell because my Guru will curse me. But everybody will go back to God. So he went on top of the spire on top on the Vimana and told, all of you chant. And he gave the mantra to everybody. And then Tirukoshtiyur Nambi heard about it. And he said, I'm very angry. Oh, what a disciple you are. I told you, it is only for you. And you should not speak about this to anybody. And then he explained, If I am supposed to go to hell because I have spoken to everybody about how to go back to Godhead, I don't mind going to hell. Let them all go back to Godhead. At that moment, Tirukuštuyur Nambi could understand that what a large heart he has got. He really is interested in people, in sending them back to Godhead. And then he embraced him. He said that, I am not like that. I didn't think like this. And you are thinking like this. He was highly appreciated him. And why I am not thinking like this? This is the heart of a real devotee. So, devotee want to give to everybody. And the risk I will take. Although Krishna is saying this, Prabhupada went all over the world and gave to drunkard, bum, useless fellow, druggy fellow, everybody chant Hare Krishna, chant Hare Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prati ghore ghore kiya karo ye bhikha, bholo Krishna bhajo Krishna karo Krishna shiksha. He gave this order, go to every house, bhikha, beg them to please chant Hare Krishna, please serve Krishna, please worship Krishna. Door-to-door marketing of the holy name. Network marketing. Whatever you want to call it. So, Haridas Thakur and Nityananda Prabhu went to everybody's house and please, they fell on their feet. They immediately held their feet. Can you please chant Krishna's name? Hey, what? Okay, I'll chant Krishna's. This is, nobody can refuse if you fall at their feet and please chant Krishna's name. Please worship Krishna. This is very aggressive, high-level marketing of the holy name. Begging, please. Nobody can refuse. Isn't it? So to that extent they were able to sacrifice themselves to do. Because they have so much love for God, for Krishna. And they are willing to do anything. Willing to give their life also. Willing to give their life. Such is the nature of devotees. So, although somebody is unfit, by a devotee's mercy he becomes fit. So, our greatest hope is to get the mercy of a devotee. If devotee's mercy is there, Krishna will immediately accept. By recommendation of the devotee, Krishna will accept. So, we are always very dependent on wonderful personalities, devotees, bhaktas, like Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Because of him, whole world, all over the place, never before in history this has happened. In all corners of the world, people are chanting Hare Krishna and reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavata, and explaining Krishna consciousness to others. We've gone into schools, into universities, into congregations, in every place. People like it. People like to hear nice things about reality, about the truth, about God in a nice scientific way, explained to them, and they are treated nicely because we think you are part and parcel of Krishna. Mamaivam sa jivaloke jivabhuta sanatana. It is just that you are temporarily lost. Giving value to people, making them have good self-esteem. Don't feel bad because you don't think you are the body. You are part and parcel of Krishna. You are eternal. You are forever. You don't die. Na chayate mriyate va kadachin nahanyate hanyamane sharire. You don't die. You live forever. And Krishna wants you back. Don't think you are this body. Don't undervalue yourself. You are a great person. So he gave value to everybody. Everybody feeling very good about themselves. Whatever materially problems I have, still I am part and parcel of Krishna. That hope and that feeling that I am eternal, I am eternally part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. I can become a devotee anytime. and I can re-establish connection with the Lord. It's such a wonderful proposal, so hopeful, makes people feel very happy. So in this way, Prabhupada gave new life to the whole world. Don't worry, if you chant Krishna's name, Krishna will look after you. In this way, he gave hope and engaged everybody in Krishna's service. In this way, a devotee, a powerful acharya like Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, he knows how to market love of Krishna to people in this world. Very powerful. To market God consciousness is the most difficult thing in the world. To tell people to become interested in Krishna, to chant Krishna's name, to become a devotee is the most difficult thing to do. But Prabhupada, super marketing he did. You know, it's easy to market all these other material commodities. But to market Krishna in this world where everybody is determined to be very materialistic, it's a very difficult job. So, although Krishna is saying this here, it's by the mercy of devotees of the Lord, pure devotees of the Lord, that everybody becomes exposed to this knowledge. He becomes exposed to this knowledge. So, according to time, place and circumstance, a pure devotee who is very close to Krishna, who knows what Krishna wants, he knows the heart of the Lord. This does not matter. This instruction does not matter. I know my father will be very happy if I go and take this risk and do it. And definitely, father is very pleased if the son takes a risk and knows the father's real desire, and he brings conditioned souls and makes them surrender to Krishna. Then Krishna is very pleased. So anybody who helps that person to do such a thing, Krishna is pleased with them also. So anybody who does even little seva for Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, his mission, you take a book and distribute to somebody, Bhagavad Gita, you make him chant Krishna's name, you bring him to the temple, you bring on a Sunday program, come, I will give you an experience. That is a wonderful service. So all of you should make it a point also to bring one new person every week and expose him to Krishna consciousness. That is a seva you can do. You can expose them to Bhagavad Gita, expose them to Kirtan, show them Lord, and they will get exposed. Initially they may not be, they'll be a little uneasy, but once, twice if they come, after that they'll start coming on their own. Naturally they get attached because God is a real Father. In this way, all of you also can take part in Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's mission. You can distribute a book, you can distribute Bhagavad Gita to somebody else, you can bring them to Sunday program. If you all take a sankalpa, every week I'll bring somebody whom I know and I introduce them to Krishna consciousness. My neighbor, my office friends, my other friends, and everybody, I'll bring them. Make them sit down, hear Bhagavad Gita, chant Hare Krishna, hear the Kirtan, and go back home. In this way, you will give chance to another soul to awaken their Krishna consciousness. That is why after saying this, Krishna is saying, Ya idam paramam guhyam matbhakteshu abhidashati. If you expose somebody to this conversation, to Bhagavad Gita, he is very dear to me. Nachatasman manusheshu kaschin me priyakritamaha bhavita nachame tasman anya priyattaro bhuvi. There is nobody there is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. If you do this, expose others to Bhagavad Gita, take a Bhagavad Gita and, give it to them, bring them for hearing Bhagavad Gita and chanting and taking some prasadam, then you will also become very dear to Krishna. If you start marketing Krishna consciousness, then Krishna will become very pleased with you. Right? So please consider doing that, and bring somebody new every week. Expose them to Lord Jagannath and let them hear Bhagavad Gita, let them chant, let them take prasadam, and in this way that will be a seva you can do for Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada's mission. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki.
Hare Krishna. Anybody have any doubts and query? Any questions you can ask Maharaj? Or you can raise your hand, we'll come there. Anybody having any questions or doubts, you can ask. Thank you, Maharaj. You profusely thank His Holiness Bhaktivinoda Swami Maharaj for his wonderful discourse on Bhagavad Gita. I will request all the devotees just wait for 2 minutes, a lot of announcements.